How's everybody doing? And thanks for tuning in to Wicked Warnings, your number one source for construction and emergency safety strobe lighting equipment for cars, vans, buses, bicycles, tricycles, SUVs, motorcycles, canoes, paddleboards, and these big, bad, beautiful F-450 cabin chassis, 11-foot service body, toolbox trucks like this awesome white beast right here, in from a very good client of ours over at Hammond Sanitary. And a nice full build on this truck. A lot of it you're not going to be able to buy because it's just too big, but I'll go over everything we did, and we're going to link to the products that we did use. So if you like some of it, you can go ahead and order it right on the website, and anything special, you can reach out to us. We'll get you the information on how to order it. As far as what you're looking at initially, you can see we've got some 3-inch mpower lights in the grill right there. I'm a fan of that location. You do need to drill one hole, but that is a 3M self-stick mpower light. So you drill one hole in the upper right corner and left corner of that grill, and you're able to run those wires right over to the passenger fender and connect them up to a fuse kit on the auxiliary switches. That particular pattern you're seeing is called intercycle. And I did a simultaneous flash on this truck just for kicks on the front and the back. Give you a little bit bolder color flash when you do both at the same time in the same color. That's a nice easy install on those gray base model grills. And I use it quite often because it puts it right underneath the hood there in a nice good location by the headlight. Above that, you can see our 23-inch Whelen Mini Bar. Of course, there's a bunch of different patterns you can select on that mini bar. We just chose that one for now. It's mounted atop of a Acari Drill-Free Mount, which goes behind the third brake block-off plate. Now, because this is an F-550 cab chassis, it doesn't even have a third brake light. It has that rubber gasket I'll show you in a minute. So you could still use the Acari mount. It's no big deal. You don't need to have a third brake light to use it. You just put that rubber gasket on the back of it instead of the third brake light. Now, that's a drill-free option for that light bar. You can take it off anytime you like, and it doesn't screw with the truck at all. So it's a real good option for all Super Duties. And there's even a version available if you have a camper shell. So if you have a camper shell and you still need a light bar, they've got a solution for that. You could see it on our website. As we move around to the side of the view here, you can see one cool thing that I don't know if you noticed in a video yet. Our mirrors are finally in. I got some mirrors on that wall and mirrors on the wall behind me as well. Makes the shop look a lot bigger. We're going to do some graphics underneath there. But back to the truck, we've got some Thin-X amber white in the side badges. That's a real nice install, great place for that particular light. We've got that light in every color you could ever want. So if your spec is only orange, or even if it's green or purple, we have that light for you. All of the lights are sold with white capability, as you can see here, orange, white, amber, clear, but you don't necessarily need to use the white. So if you favored a red warning, you'd buy a red, white Thin-X, and you just wouldn't hook up the white wire, and it would flash only in red. You could always use the white steady flood on another switch if you want. This truck, we didn't bother with that, but those front grille lights, as well as those badge lights, both capable of a steady white flood on a secondary switch, if you so choose to do that. Here's a little tighter side shot where you can really see that Thin-X light coming backwards out of that badge. I got a video that tells you all about how to do that. It's in our DIY section. Very easy modification to do, and you run the wiring right up through the fender well. A couple other things that this truck got while it was here is that ladder rack, for one. Sorry, I kicked the camera. The other thing we had done while it was here is our partner over at Linex did a spray for the entire bed, the walk surface, the tops of the rails, even wrapped the top of the rail a little bit, take care of a little surface rust we had already on this brand new body from Monroe. But we took care of that with the Linex, wrapped it over the top drip edge there, and it's all sealed up in Linex Premium now. And there's a little closer shot of what I'm talking about, the way they brought that bed liner all the way down and over this edge like that, because like I said, there was already some surface rust here on the brand new body. So got that all taken care of. Alrighty, moving around the back, I've darkened the camera about as much as I can for you, and that's no trick. That's our Raptor on the back there. It's a bold and bright light. I like the Raptor light. It's wrapped in a stainless steel bezel. You can see still pictures of it on the website. There's going to be a link. You can also see that light bar on the top doing its thing. A little hard to see, but in there in the bed, you can see that 48-inch WeatherGuard toolbox. That was also done here. Customer requested a nice clean white build. And that was a little tricky when we went to the ladder rack, trying to find a white ladder rack, but we wanted it to match the truck. We wanted a white toolbox, white ladder rack, but we knew better. We weren't going for the white Bedliner. That was never happening. But the truck looks real nice now. It's sharp. Everything matches. It's just overall a good look. Alrighty, I just shut the warning off. All that warning was on auxiliary switch number 6 with a fuse to protect it. I shut it all off just to give you a little clear picture of the truck and to show you underneath that tailgate what we've got going on there. And that was a special order item, but it's a big, bad 8-head Whelen traffic advisor. And it'll give you left arrow, right arrow warning, and all kinds of stuff. I like this one particularly because it's about 47 inches wide. It's a big mamma jamma, and it is very bright, and it does its job very well. We discussed this with the customer in length about where to mount it, and we ended up landing on this right below the tailgate because they do access the bed far too much to put it on the ladder rack anywhere, and it would be damaged. Their concern is of damage on the ladder rack, and moving this anywhere forward up by the light bar or anywhere by the back of the cab, it will more than likely be blocked by what's on the rack or what's in the back of this truck. So this was the decision that we went with. And that's just on a basic warning pattern. That's got a nice controller that we mounted up on the dashboard and give you all the options for left arrow, right arrow. And of course, if you wanted a wire-in arrow stick, I have other options that would work off the auxiliary switches. This big bastard has its own controller, and it's on the dash. You might be able to, well, if I lifted the camera, you might be able to even see it. It has LEDs on it that show you every movement of the light. It's pretty cool. I'm going to show you in a second. Now, of course, left arrow, right arrow, you can pick all the patterns you want. I just set it on this one. I kind of like it. It's not a trick there. It is that bright. It's messing up the camera. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a walk here off the tripod and show you what I'm talking about. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to spin around and show you the wall. You can see how much light that's throwing. And this is a brightly lit warehouse right now, and that's throwing that much light on the wall. My warehouse lights are all LED and extremely bright. And I'm just going to walk this, try to be smooth. I did recently receive a gimbal as a gift from one of our best employees, and I'm going to try to get working on that so I can show you a little smoother action. But here's how we mounted that stick. And again, it goes right underneath the tailgate. Does its job very well. It's extremely bright, as you can see. I'm going to light this thing up totally and show you what that looks like. So, pardon the shaky camera, but I kind of want to try and give you a couple of different views of it. So I'm going to walk around and show you a little bit like this. I also have a drone. I want to get that out and learn how to use that and start filming with that. Give you guys some drone films. Yeah, get a little bit lower and really get that traffic advisor in your face. I'm about 3 feet off the ground right now. We're about waist height. Walk you this way. Yeah, nice white ladder rack. I'll put the... Hang on a second. Sorry about that. Sorry. All right, here. It's a nice rack. It's not bad. All right, let me show you what I had to do inside here, because this was kind of cool. Pardon as I jump in here. So I wanted a nice clean mount for this Whelen, and of course we're using the aux for the other stuff, but I wanted a clean mount for this Whelen controller, and I like this one. It's nice because it shows you everything. I mean, you put it on left arrow, it shows you left arrow, it lights up here white, and after a little while that goes away, so it's not all white in your face, and then you could shut her totally down and hold this and it'll go totally off, you know, or illuminate it again, go to flash. Has a low power mode, but like, who needs that? And this is an aux button. If you wanted to run the other lighting off of this, we could have, but there was no real reason to do that. So I just went ahead and used aux 6 for the other lighting. But you could run another accessory off of here if you really wanted to. And to mount it, I just made up a little block with the right angle. Comes with these little stainless screws in the front of it. But you can see that block that I made, and that's just some carpet for like a stereo box that we used. And I'm not gonna lie, it's just 2x4s. It's nothing super high tech. I did some 2x4s. I cut some angle on it. I glued it all up and carpeted it. And we lifted this panel. Of course, you can take that rubber off of there, and there's some screws, and you can pull this panel up. We drilled a hole for the wiring and went down underneath behind the dash with all the wiring. So you can't really see it, but like way under there, I put the wiring under there, so it's totally out of sight. The fuse is accessible right here. That's kind of nice. And this doesn't look horrible. Puts that right there. Now I experimented around. I tried to go down here. I was looking over here. I thought about over here. I even thought, as far as, let me see if I can get this ISO back where it belongs. There you go. I thought about here. We were going to mount it here, but it was a lot of messing around and probably not really worth it. And it blocked these. I didn't like that. So this was kind of where we landed, was right there. And it really doesn't stick up. You don't lose any vision. You can see the hood right there is not losing any vision. So that's how we did that. Let me show you from the outside what that looks like. It's not that it really matters, but it's nice and clean. Great carpet, looks good. Everything's centered up. I put the rubber mat back in there so you can still use the storage space behind it. I think it turned out nice. So there we go. That's how we did this one right here. Like I say, I'm not turning this into a kit. It's too much stuff. I'm just going to link all of the stuff we used and let you guys build it up on your own if you got a service body just like this. Of course, if I had, my way to do anything I ever wanted on a service body, I'd be putting white lights inside all these toolboxes. But this guy says, hey, we don't work at night, so we really didn't need that. So there's all kinds of extra stuff I could put on this thing if I had my own choice. But this is a collaboration build between us and the client, mostly picked out and spec'd by them. And this is what we came up with. So thanks again for watching Wicked Warnings, your #1 source for construction and emergency safety strobe lighting equipment for cars, vans, buses, bicycles, and super duty like this big boy right here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check the description for everything you need to replicate this build and everything that we used on it. And obviously, I'm not going to ship you Bedliner. I'm not going to ship that gigantic toolbox. But if you have absolutely no source to get it, let me know, and we'll try to figure something out for you. Thanks again for tuning in.